This is this day in baseball history for January 17th. Yes, baseball history in January. It does exist. We're going to tell you about it right now.
Oh, no.
January 17th, 1922, an appellate court denies Benny Kauff's appeal for reinstatement as a major league player. Due to the acquittal of the auto theft charges brought against him, the former Giant outfielder believed Commissioner Kenesaw Mountain Landis should have reversed his decision to banish him from the game. So I was looking him up, and there's not much on this, but it's like he's always Kenesaw Mountain Landis. It's always in the middle of controversy.
His picture came up, and if you see me and Jack immediately are like
shaking our heads.
With the name like that, you're asking to be in the middle of a lot of things.
I would agree.
But then you have to find the photo of him. Just look at this man never smiled.
No,
this man never smiled in any photo I've seen of him.
It's a permanent scowl on his face, like he.
This is my happy face.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But I never heard of this. I got Jack. We may have to hashtag do the research on that guy.
Yeah, Benny Kauff. Benny Kauff.
All right.
January 17th, 1970, Willie Mays is named Player of the Decade for the 60s by the Sporting News. During the 10 years, the Say Hey Kid averaged 100 RBIs and 35 home runs per season while batting 300 for the Giants. Just an amazing player. And definitely we should do some more deep dives on him because he's another one of those just like all-time players of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, my gosh, he might be the greatest of all time. You look at overall numbers for just everything that he did in baseball, hitting for average, home runs, RBIs, and all that.
Yes,
and he's still around. I think he's pushed. I think he just celebrated his 90th birthday last year, I believe.
Yes, yes, he is.
Started baseball young, and he played for like 23, 24 years. Most players can't do that nowadays. That's for sure.
No.
That's crazy. And so this would have been 53 years ago, this happens and he's still going. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Cheers, Willie Mays. Cheers, Willie Mays, Jack. No relation to Willie Mays Hayes. So I'll make sure you
I'm aware of the difference, bro. I'm aware.
Kevin, you're going to like this one.
Oh my goodness, here we go.
The same day, January 17th, 1970, the Yankees draft Fred Lynn in the third round of the January phase of free agency, but the El Monte High School senior chooses to attend USC on a football scholarship. The 17-year-old Californian who will join the Trojans baseball squad in his freshman year becomes the first player in Major League Baseball history to win the MVP and Rookie of the Year awards in the same season for the 1975 Red Sox. And I love this picture of him. In El Monte is it's right over by me in Pasadena. Is that right, Kevin?
It's about
pretty close.
Yeah, it's about 15, 20 minutes east of there. I'm like, wow, El Monte. I'm like, there we go. They're maybe the most famous alumni from El Monte High. Right on. That's cool.
What's interesting about this photo, too, is this photo is actually there's a piece of history in this photo. That's the exact bat that Kevin used to hit Fred Lynn's.
Excuse me. That's friend of the show, Fred Lynn.
Friend of the show, sorry.
Friend of the show, Fred Lynn.
Friend of the show by proxy of hitting his wife with a baseball bat.
Excuse me, he appeared on our show once. That makes him a friend of the show.
We're gonna have to hunt out Fred Lynn's ex-wife and
right.
Yeah, by the way, ex-wife now. By the way,
yes, ex-wife. Yes,
that's why he's a friend of the show.
We'll have to do a hazy history on this. But
Fred Lynn, pretty underrated, I think, historically now. I mean, he had a hell of a career. Like they said, that won the MVP. He played for about 15 years with the Red Sox, the Orioles, and the Angels. And I don't know if he still is, because he was the first player ever to hit a Grand Slam in an All-Star game. I don't know if he's he might still be the only guy to ever do it.
Who did he hit it off of, Kevin?
Atlee Hammaker. Why are you trying to ask me something?
Nicely done. And who kissed him on the field at Angel Stadium?
Cowboy Jack?
Morgana the Kissing Bandit, dude.
go. There you go.
There you go.
Nicely done. See, you're learning. You're learning.
Right.
Good man. Good man.
Speaking of softballs, come on, Cowboy Jack. There you go.
January 17th, 1983, Bob Horner and the Braves come to terms on a $6 million 4-year deal with an additional $400,000 in bonuses if he keeps his playing weight under control during the season. The agreement calls for the Atlanta third baseman to be weighed every Friday during homestands, and if the scale doesn't exceed 215 pounds, he will receive a $7,692.31 incentive per weigh-in.
Wow.
Okay. So, of course, we dive into all the top controversial issues of the day, and this is one of them. But this spiraled me into so many different rabbit holes. So I want to go back. So Cowboy Jack, where did Bob Horner play baseball?
Arizona State University, sir.
Correct. And on his card right here, he weighs a slim trim 190 pounds. Playing for those Sun Devils during those 3 years.
Now, can I add one thing here? If you see where it says College Baseball Hall of Famer, first he was in the first class along with Robin Ventura. Bring it back a couple weeks there.
That's
and
it.
I'm going to mention it now. Bob Horner was voted the greatest college baseball player of the 20th century.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah. So, and look at, there's his numbers right there. So let's see. Well, all right. She's 412, 12 home runs, 100 RBIs. Yeah.
Yeah. He was a terror. And was this, can you tell there, were they already using aluminum bats at that time?
It looks like it now.
aluminum.
Yeah, that looks aluminum.
Yeah. So this must have been like the first wave of that, if I'm not mistaken, because, in the early 80s, it was done. That's when Robin Ventura was tearing it up as well. But it looks like they have the metal bats. So let's fast forward to 1986.
Oh, no.
And this is his last year in Atlanta. But it says 210 pounds here. He looks a little thicker, and
that's him.
Hey, let's not body shame the brother, dude. Come on now. He enjoyed some barbecue and some cold beer. It's all right.
That's fine, but come on, the contract. Look at the contract stipulation, brother.
They hit him with the Yokozuna clause, dude.
So this is interesting as I looked at it. So this is 86. This was his last year in Atlanta. And then he actually he became a free agent in 87 after his first season having 500 at bats. So although Horner was still near his peak, the major league clubs were then colluding to drive down salaries. And so no offers were made to Bob Horner that year. So his asking price was $2 million at that time. Wow. And actually, I was surprised to know this, that in 2004, he actually won $7 million in a lawsuit over the collusion of this. So he actually
good job, Bob Horner. Fight the power.
So he played in Shinjuku for the Swallows. And can anybody tell me why his number is 50?
Was that how many kilograms he had to weigh in at?
That would be very light, Jack, because 100 kilograms would be 220 pounds. So,
Hey, man. Hey.
I'm just saying.
Yes. Well, it's actually that's actually a good guess, but actually he was given the number 50 by the organization because that was the number of home runs they expected him to hit.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Yeah.
How many did he end up hitting?
He actually ended up with 31 and 73 RBIs.
Wow!
So he did 1 year.
Just in 1 year. Yeah, okay. He was just 1 year there. He actually He actually signed in '88 with the St. Louis Cardinals, and after 60 games,
did he get arrested? Because it looks like he got arrested in his jersey in that black and white photo.
It does. He's looking a little bit worse for wear here. But even worse because he injured his shoulder and actually retired. He actually invited to spring training in '89 for the Orioles, but he got his retirement. So
brother knows how to rock a mullet, man. Yeah. God bless him.
He's got a bit of the perm. Yeah, he was really good, and I think that definitely derailed him having to go to Japan for sure. Yeah. And but if he would have followed another man who in professional wrestling who actually had he had a remedy for this, and it was the blow-away diet. Playboy Buddy Rose, and I love this shirt. I worked hard for this body.
Yes. That's definitely a way later version of Buddy Rose, but still,
it's so good.
He's not very Playboyish right there.
So good, dude.
I think that's when the crowd would chant "Doughboy" at him, and he would get really mad about it.
And so Bob Horner had to weigh in at 215 pounds. But what did Playboy Buddy Rose say? That he whenever he was, they would go, and now at 271 pounds, and then Kevin.
Whoa. That's 217 pounds.
There you go. So Bob Horner and Playboy Buddy Rose separated by 2 pounds. But here's the thing. Okay, so this was a kind of a funny commercial, like kind of a parody commercial they did on WWE. I think it was on Saturday Night's Main Event, actually.
I think so, yeah.
And so, but here I found this article. I'm sorry, this advertisement. This is for Burgerville in Portland. The roughest part about traveling the pro wrestling circuit is going without Burgerville. He was never going to hold his weight down. So
God bless him. God bless that man.
Hey man, you're on the road 7 days a week.
Yes,
you gotta get your protein in somewhere.
I think it was in 1998. He almost ate Kevin.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's so good.
The jacket, the watch, God bless that. I love it.
Love that, man. He actually was the very first wrestling show I went to as a child in 1983 was him challenging Bob Backlund for the World Wrestling Federation Championship.
Wow.
Wow.
There you go.
I had to pick him up at the airport, and he told me some stories that I may never be able to tell in public. Good stuff. Playboy Buddy Rose, good man. And Bob Horner, a great man. There you go. All right, so January 17th, 1994, Anaheim Stadium, farther from the Northridge earthquake's epicenter than most of LA's area sporting venues, becomes the only one to incur significant damage when the landmark Big A sign collapses into the stadium, severely damaging the scoreboard and giant replay screen. The home of the Angels and NFL's Rams sustains $3.4 million in damages. An amount not covered because the city's $6.25 million insurance deductible on the structure. I guess they didn't have earthquake insurance.
Dude, Northridge changed so much about like engineering and building, and like I still hear it on a monthly basis from engineers. Yep. Northridge, it's crazy.
Yep. When I moved here in 1997, all the big sell on all the buildings where they were retrofit, meaning they had it's like this. It looked like a padding all around it that was able, so the building could actually move. Right. And I moved to Northridge in '99, and actually, where I moved at, the apartment was one of them that was crushed. In the Northridge earthquake, it was a new apartment, and it was like metal and steel. So it was.
What was that number again, Michael?
What's that?
The amount of damage to the stadium?
It says $3.4 million in 1994.
$3.4 million of improvement to the stadium, because then they had years later the Rams left, then that whole area is gone.
Yeah, they just took that whole thing out, right?
That whole area is gone now. If you go there now, that's the left field area where they pretty much gutted that out, and I think they just have the giant scoreboard. It's just an open area for people to just walk around because they don't need that anymore. Once the Rams left, they didn't need that extra space because come on, you can barely get 20,000 to an Angels game sometimes, let alone 66 or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yep. All right, January 17th, 2003. This is a fun one. Tony Riviera, a newly formed Canadian Baseball League chairman, nominates Pete Rose, the former first baseman outfielder who collected his 4,000th career hit with the 1984 Montreal Expos, for induction into the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Charlie Hustle will fail to get elected, falling short of garnering the necessary 75% vote from selection committee. So I thought that he was going to get inducted, which would have been amazing if he was in the Canadian and not the American one. But I was looking into this. So the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, it looks like it's, like a big place. It actually isn't. And you'll be surprised that not that long ago, this was the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame.
Oh, my Lord. I love it.
It was a stone farmhouse built in 1868. It was the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame loan structure before a 2,500 square foot expansion happened. I think it was like 5 years ago. So if you go to the Baseball Hall of Fame, this is 379 miles from that in
Ontario.
Yeah. So.
Oh, keep that in mind. I've been to the Japanese Hall of Fame. I've been to the American Hall of Fame. So I got Mexico and Canada to go now.
Yes, it is cute.
Cute.
I think that's one of those slogans too. The Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Come, it's cute.
Come on, it's cute.
Actually, I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking here, it only had 11 members in it when it was actually in this house.
And Pete Rose couldn't get in there? Come on.
Is it supposed to be people who play in Canada or people born in Canada? Do we know what the stipulations
are?
I think
Fergie Jenkins is one of them. I think he's the only person that's in both the American and Canadian Hall of Fame.
Yeah, because he actually is Canadian, yes.
Right.
And he should be in the Hall of Fame.
So I'm trying to think of who else. Maybe Gary Carter?
Possibly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Andre Dawson, Tim Raines. # do the research.
There you go. So we'll have to get that one out there.